Okay, so
Well, think
that's
about
one
it.
of the
What
unknown
do you
ones
want
we
to
just
name
found, and
yours?
it's just been.
They're offering you. It's like naming a constellation or something.
Oh, wow, name a kitty. I would name it Nikela.
There you go.
Nikela?
Nikela.
Oh, I like that.
We're trying to get a hold of the Cheetah Conservation folks.
Hello. We're here in Ganzi. And would it be at all possible to visit someone there to... Looks like we're going west of town for about 20 kilometers and maybe find something.
We're off to look for the Cheetah Conservation. This could be it. Look there, it says. Yep, there we go. Here we are. This is the staff complex. There's the office.
That's like a daily thing. You go out, you see an elephant. You go out, you see guinea fowls. Those kind of things.
So now here you do research on
we
all
do.
wildlife or just on the
We
cheetah?
We do research with this cheetah cats.
We
Botswana and Namibia, they're saying there are only the two countries out of this world, that hold the reasonable numbers of cheetahs. And then in Botswana, this is where we find the cheetah population. We find them here in the Khanzi farmlands and then the Kalahari as well.
So do you do counts and do you collar them? Do you...
We do counts sometimes through spore tracking and then through collaring. Yeah, we've been not like it's not a regular thing. The last collaring we did was last year when we collared some cats within the farmlands. Hanti is a block of farms, commercial farms.
Okay.
So these cheetahs, Reggie, bring this other map from this side.
She has to be the holder, huh?
So, this is like Khanzi.
This.
In 2008, I came here to work for Cheetah Conservation, Khanzi in here. And then you can see this is the farm blocks here. So this is the commercial farm blocks. Because of cheetah being so poor with competing with these other carnivores, big carnivores like lions, wild dogs, hyenas, it couldn't live in one of these big game reserve. They say because it couldn't live up with these other predators inside the park, they decided to move from this area into this farm block.
On their own, huh?
Yeah. And then this is where they are causing conflict with the farmers, and then eating their livestock. If you don't take care of your livestock, then they become a problem, So this is where they cause the problem. And then as Max, I work as a community officer and then the camp manager as well, to try and work with the farmers whenever they have cheetah problems.
Okay.
And then this other.
What kind of things do you do when they have cheetah problems?
Most of the time, they will call us and then they will want us to move that cheetah from that area to maybe to an area like this one. But then that thing, it doesn't really work. The translocation thing, it has proved that it's not working because these cats they can't compete with the others. They're very, very poor. They kill a springbok, the next thing a lion comes and then grabs that thing because they can't fight those big predators. They're just they are not that strong. You can imagine if I were to fight with your wife here, and then it becomes what? It's not good.
They can't survive.
Yeah, they can't survive in that environment. So their survival is in this farmlands, where there are no big carnivores like hyenas, lions, those things. So their only survival is in this farm blocks, and then there are some.
So is some of the reason why they go after livestock because it's easier?
It's easier, and then again it goes with the allocation of land. Recently I was in Gaborone, I was talking to a friend of mine, a very close friend of mine. Government decided to locate them a borehole just 5 km from the park boundary, this park here.
Okay.
And then you can imagine, just 5 kilometers from the park boundary, what's going to happen with the wildlife, and
It's
then,
going to go to the
and then
border.
this is one of like this area is populated with lions. You know, you can imagine what's going to happen between the livestock and then the cats as well. You know, so land allocation sometimes, you know, it goes with this human wildlife conflict.
So you're saying when you say land allocation, it also seems to be
Yeah.
where the water is, right?
Yeah, not only the water, you know, like for instance, this parks here, there's a corridor in between these two parks. You know,
Okay.
there's a time where animals will move from this park to this one. But then because of the population growing, you know, people put, you know what, settlements in between, you know, they put boreholes in between, livestock in between, you know. So this animal move between these two parks, you know, that's where they cause the
And then they get close to the livestock.
Yeah. And then they get close, yeah, and then at the end, you know, animals suffer because they don't have that say to say, you guys, you're not doing the. We encourage people to use guiding dogs because, you know, a guard dog, you know, if properly trained with the head, you know, it becomes a very, very close friend with the goats, you know.
That's
such
what
that
I've heard, yeah.
somebody who comes outside try to steal a goat from that, you know, it becomes a war, you know. So that thing has proved that it can work. So we try and promote it with the local farmers. Just last year I started this other thing, you know. I train puppies and then donate them to the farmers. So I'm still trialing that thing, you know. And then if it works, then we'll try and get more funds and then promote it.
What
like
kind of dog?
We promote the local breed. There's this other breed, the Anatolian Shepherd. They use it in Turkey to look after the sheep, you know. We found out that breed is not doing well in this area of Hansi where it is hot, you know. It's got this big coat, you know, it's meant to stay in the cold, you know. So when you breed it to a desert like this one, it doesn't do really well. It becomes very, very difficult for it to go out like the whole day with the head and then come back with it. So it will tend to go under the shade, you know, try and find a shade and then stay there. And then you can imagine hiring a security guard, you know, who's always hire him to look after your building, and then the next thing he's sleeping, you know. So we want a dog that will work 24 hours. We stay with the head 24 hours, go out, you know, in the morning, come back with the head like after like in the evening when they come back from
and the local dogs.
The local dogs they do quite well, you know, if they're properly trained, and then
they become part of the herd as well.
They become part of the herd, you know. One time we wanted to catch some cheetahs at our set. It's about 2 km from here, and then we took one goat from our head, you know. Only found that this dog was looking at us, you know. He followed us up to that pen, you know, where we had our holding pens and then our trap cages, and then I would find that he was hiding under the bush, following this goat, you know. They become so close that, you know, you can't really separate them. When was it? 2012. We lost our head, you know. They disappeared like for a week. We caught them. There's this other road, you know, they never go to them. We caught them that side on the street, and it was about 36 Ks. After 5 days, we realized that we did not lose any goat to any predators, and then you can imagine we have a big game farm behind us, and then because of these dogs, we did not lose even.
And these were the local dogs.
Yeah, this way the
Excellent.
local. Yeah, this way the local. So I'm promoting that breed because it's cheaper again to maintain, you know.
Well, it's
just
used to
well.
the
Yeah. It's let's say Botswana it's got like less than 2,500, less than 3,000 cheetahs, following Namibia with about more than 3,000 cheetahs.
Okay.
People will think we have like
A lot.
lots of them, but then it's not.
There's not.
Like,
Yeah. Saving predators, cheetah and lions, the question always is, are there enough prey species for them? Is that one of the reasons why they turn to livestock? What would be your response to that one?
Probably because there isn't enough prey, and then because of the space now, you know, they breed and then they increase in numbers, you know, and then they
Oh,
have
the
to
cheetah,
fight.
okay.
The cheetahs, I mean, big carnivores like lions, you know, cheetahs, you know.
Yeah.
They grow in numbers, you
Right.
know. The next thing they want, they want space, and then
Right.
they reach out to this settlements, you know, where they cause conflicts with
Okay.
farmers or local
Okay.
people, you know. You can imagine within this area, you know, how many lions we have here, and then how many territories we have in here.
Right.
Yeah. So as much as they breed in here, some want to like go out and then find new places, and then that's where they cause conflict. You know, the next thing they come across is livestock, where they cause problems.
So is some of the reason why they go after livestock because it's easier?
It's easier, and then again it goes with the allocation of land. You know, recently I was in Gaborone, you know, I was talking to a friend of mine, a very close friend of mine. You know, government decided to locate them a borehole just 5 k's from the park boundary, this park here.
Okay.
And then you can imagine, you know, just 5 kilometers from the park boundary, what's going to happen with the wildlife.
It's going to go to the
And then
borehole.
this one of this area is populated with lions, you know, you can imagine what's going to happen between the livestock and then
Okay.
the cats as well, you know. So land allocation sometimes, you know, it goes with this human wildlife goes.
So you're saying when you say land allocation, it also seems to be where the water is, right?
Yeah, not only the water, you know, like for instance, this parks here, there's a corridor in between these two parks.
Okay.
There's a time where animals will move from this park to this one. But then because of the population growing, you know, people put, you know what, settlements in between, you know, they put boreholes in between, livestock in between, you know. So this animal move between these two parks, you know, that's where they cause the
And then they get close to the livestock.
and then they get
Yes.
close.
Okay.
At the end, you know, animals suffer because they don't have that say to say, you guys, you're not doing the right thing.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, if you maintain a healthy natural prey population on your farm, whether it's cattle or game, then cheetahs will stay on natural prey. So because there was a recent study done, I don't know, I can't remember exactly, but less than, it's a very small percentage of the cheetah diet was actually livestock. And they'll stick to steenbok, duiker,
That's what
kudu.
so they do prefer.
Exactly, yeah. They prefer natural. But yes, sometimes you get rogue individuals who will turn to livestock because they are clever and they know, well, that cattle is a very easy option.
Okay.
Yeah.
But they prefer, so basically the studies have shown that cheetah do prefer the natural prey if it's available.
If it's available, yes, it has to be a stable population
Okay.
of steenbok or duiker or and they
The small.
The smaller buck, okay.
Yeah.
So that means that if the farmers do have those on their farm, they can also protect their livestock.
yes, exactly. And that's what
Okay.
we're trying to say. I mean, you know, it's kind of like a positive thing. If you've predators on your farm, then I know you have cattle and all, but it shows that you have a healthy prey population as well. At the moment now, with the drought and everything, a lot of farmers are feeling, you know, a pinch because, you know, some farmers might argue that predators are probably taking away too much of the natural and then they're turning to cattle when there's not enough. But you see, it really depends on the area.
Do you spend a lot of your time with farmers and helping them to figure out how to not kill your animals?
Yeah, we do. We do host workshops here. Like we organize workshops for the farmers. They come here for 2 days, and then we invite relevant stakeholders, and then we talk to them about this human wildlife conflict thing, and then some of them they do try this method, but some they still lack, you know, because most of our people, you know, they're lazy to implement these things because, you know, I believe they don't really see the benefit of this wildlife must come to their problem. But then we do try as much as we can as CCB to host workshops and then go around, you know, the farms. We have what we call mobile workshops. Sometimes I go out for like a week, you know, go to the cattle post and then talk to them about this human wildlife conflict thing, you know.
Like you said, you know, we all get used to the way we live, right?
Yeah.
We get comfortable and we don't want to change if we'd rather the animal went away, the predator went away. So what's in it for the farmer? Why should they protect the wildlife?
Because it's part of wildlife is part of what ecosystem.
Okay.
They have to protect that, and then again, you know, they bring what income into the country.
They do
through
bring
the,
income.
yeah, through the tourism thing. You know, Botswana right now is depending on what diamonds, and then second by what tourism. You know, you can even shoot. You know, we understand because they cause problem to their and then this farming is their business.
So you have to have a monetary value on populations sometimes, which, I mean, if you put an ownership on them for people, that will be an incentive to go, okay, this is something that I can have a say in it, and then I can get something back out of it too. Yeah. And I think,
you know,
yeah.
and then of course they somehow affect their business, but then at some point, you know, they don't need to be that cruel, you know, to animals. Like recently we had somebody, you know, killing one of our study cats, you know. It was just by the side of the road, you know. These cats were probably crossing the roads, you know, and then somebody found them there, and then he took out the gun and then he shot one of them, and then one of the big cats that can say what was one of the biggest in the whole world, you know. And then
That's really sad.
that was a sad thing, you know.
unfortunately, the amount of farmers that we work with who came up to us and said, that's awful.
Yeah.
I hope the person that shot that animal feels ashamed.
Oh, good.
Yeah. And I
That's
hope
good.
they catch him as well, one said to me.
Yeah.
So you feel like, okay, there's some who are on side with us.
But it was a lion. He killed one of their cows, and then this lion suddenly attacked one of them. Luckily they had a gun with them, and this guy shot it, you know. And then it's those kind of things, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's lions and cheetahs and leopards, they're scary, you know. It's easy for us to say, you know, don't kill them.
Yeah.
But it's very difficult when you're faced with them. But again, learning how to, like when you grew up, you were telling us that you learned how to live amongst them.
Yeah, because I was born, you know, around them. It was part of my life, and then I knew how to stay away with them, stay away from them, you know, live up with them, you know, that kind of things, you know. And then,
things that you do and don't, what you don't do and don't do
Yeah.
when you're around them.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, but cheetahs, you know, sometimes you see them and they just stay there and then watch you, look at you, and then this is where the farmers get an advantage, and then have time to that's such what. I don't know, it's stupid cats or what, you know. Just run away, you know, so when they see you, you know, because that thing, you know, I mean, I think that's the reason one of these cats was killed, you know. They were crossing the road and then they just stood there and then watched this guy, and then he had time to remove the car and then shoot one of them, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Best way to protect the cheetahs in the wild, and that's what you're doing.
Yeah.
You know,
Why do you want to work with like outside the protected areas, because it's got this communal people, you know, it becomes very difficult, you know, to work with these people.
This is where it's needed. It's within humanized environments.
Yeah.
and that's where most of the cheetah are, as you were telling us before. Most of the cheetah are not in the parks. The lions are there. The human, you know, with the farmers and with the children. You've been successful, you know. One cheetah. They're not called prides of cheetah. What do you call cheetah? They're not in groups, so it's just.
They're solitary. Well, females solitary.
Coalitions.
Coalitions.
Sometimes. But if you can save just a few of those, then you've done a good job. You know?
Wait, that's so and so. Then I know, because he's in a coalition of two. Then I go, oh, but that's this guy.
So-and-so.
Yeah.
So you're going to name that one George?
I will. I will name this one George.
All
I will
right.
actually note it down.
Okay.
So what I look at. Yeah.
Okay, and you're looking at those. How in the world can you tell?
Oh yes. So what I look at.
The full belly, you know.
Yeah. But what I look at is the spot patterns on the legs.
Oh.
And especially on the inside of the legs, because there's far fewer spots. It's very easier to pick up a pattern then.
Oh.
What I look at is, I think I have it right here.
Looks
We'll double
like it.
check.
Does
Okay, so look, what I look for is, see how these, you have a big one, a small one, and a big one. They're right there. Then you have, above that, you have a large dot with two small ones below it.
Okay, we're following Max and Reggie down to the educational part of this. There's the guard dog running with his herd. These dogs stay with the herd. He's with his herd of goats. He lives with them all the time.
Hi guys.
We're coming up to Education Center, looks like. Kids stay here. Looks like Cheetah Conservation basically funds this when they come. They don't get much government aid, maybe a vehicle.
Houses, the two houses there,
Okay.
and then the same thing is that side, you know, and then there's, you know.
So the camp on both sides. Huh?
Yeah, camp on both sides there. Here's the kitchen and then the classroom.
Okay.
There's two classes here, and swimming pool as well.
A swimming pool. Can't do it without a swimming pool.
Yeah. The size, you know, it can intimidate like big predators like, you know, leopards or whatever, but when they don't really do, yeah, they don't do well, you know. It's always under the shade, you know. You can imagine it's very hot at the moment, and then it's always under the shade, you know.
Going up to see the kraal where Reggie takes care of the goats, where they have the dog protect. And they apparently have had a cheetah close by. Well, they're a noisy bunch. Reggie goes and checks on them, just to make sure all of them have gotten back. But otherwise they just come back on their own. Hi, Pooch! Oh, you're a good dog. Yeah, you're a good dog. You're a good dog. Yes, you are.
This one's we to show it to the farmers, you know, the livestock guiding dog program, you know, how it works, then they can come and benchmark through
Through what you're doing,
yeah.
How many dogs have you placed with the farmers?
Right now, I'm monitoring like 12 people. Like I have to go to town, you know, go around and then look for puppies, you know, that are about 8 to 6
Oh, I see. So you go look for
puppies and then come and introduce them here, keep them for
I see.
a month and a half with our head here, give them necessary medication, and then make sure they're well trained, and then that's when we donate to interested farmers, you know.
So you don't breed the dogs, you
No,
look for the local
Yeah,
dogs
yeah,
that you think might be good.
Yeah.
Oh.
Because most people, you know, they'll put dogs in towns, you know, the next thing they don't
want the dogs.
Yeah, they don't know what to do with them, and then
So it's actually a good thing,
Yeah, I buy them from them and then I come and train them.
And right now it's a good time for the puppies to be trained with the
Yeah.
small ones.
Oh, this
They can
time.
grow up together.
Yes, I'm sure you
They don't take the animals. I really love animals. I wish some of Botswana, you know, could appreciate the animals as much as I do, because, you know, they're such beautiful things, you know.
Well, we're just leaving
What a great
Cheetah Conservation